Yeah, we are in live.
Hi everyone, to all the participants who are joining in. Thank you for joining in. We'll just wait for a few more minutes for other folks who are joining in. Thank you so much for your patience. We'll just give it a couple more minutes before we get started with the webinar. Welcome to the webinar. Amitava, Avek, Babani, Chandramauli, Dharmendra, Dheeraj. Welcome guys. Thank you for joining the session. Divya, Gagan, Gopal Krishnan, hi Harris, hello Kanan, Mahesh, Mani, Nazir, Nayan. Thank you so much everyone. Hello Nitin, Paul, Pawan, Prashant, Shashikant, Sunil, Vishal. Professor, should we get started or wait for a couple more minutes?
I think we can go ahead. We have some.
Sure. Yeah, because I see a couple of people still joining in, but I think we can get started and let them still join in. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I extend a warm welcome to the pre-program webinar on the IIM Lucknow Chief Executive Officer Program. I'm Shweta and I'll be your moderator for this session. We're very delighted to have you join us today. I'd like to start off with a quote. Leadership is the capacity to translate a vision into reality, said Warren Bennis. The statement perfectly captures the essence of effective leadership in today's ever-changing landscape of business. And leaders who can anticipate and adapt to change are the ones who will drive their organizations forward. So disruptive technologies, evolving markets, and a globalized landscape are continuously reshaping business environment. All of you, as aspiring and evolving CEOs, are at the forefront of navigating these challenges and seizing these opportunities. So this program is more than just acquiring knowledge. It's about transforming your leadership and shaping the future of your organization. And through this webinar, our esteemed speakers will shed more light on the essence and the learning outcomes of this program. We are here to showcase this program's potential in developing exceptional aspiring CEOs like yourselves. And your questions and active participation are highly encouraged. And we want to ensure that you gain valuable insights by the end of this webinar that can help propel your leadership journey. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Let's get started without further ado. I'll quickly take you through the agenda of the webinar today. We can move to the next slide. Sai, we can move to the next slide. Yeah, sorry, there seems to be some technical challenge.
He's resharing.
Yeah, no problem. Sure. Thank you for your patience. Right. So we'll discuss briefly about the program. We'll talk about IIM Lucknow. I will introduce the key speakers of our session today. We'll run through the program highlights, different elements, why this program would stand out, and who this program is designed for. What would be your main takeaways from this program? And we will also run through the program modules, the content. Faculty will throw some light on how the capstone projects are going to be, how the simulations are going to be run, etc. And then we also will have some time towards the end for Q&A. Even through the session, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box, but we would like to present first and then take the questions towards the end so that we can focus on both, right? With that, let's quickly get started. We can move ahead, Sai. So briefly about the program, like I already mentioned, this is for new and aspiring CEOs to strengthen the capabilities essential to be agile and navigate uncertainty and transformation. This program will help business leaders advance their leadership traits, financial acumen, give them also cross-functional skills, because as a CEO, you're at the center of the organization and needs and have to hold all the business functions, business heads together. So that cross-functional skills are also very critical, and effective strategic thinking capabilities as well. So this program is scheduled to start on the 30th of June. It's a 10-month program, and the program fee is 6 lakh plus GST. So moving ahead, I will also give a quick introduction about our key speakers for today. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed speakers for today's webinar, Professor Neeraj and Professor Devdatta from IIM Lucknow, who carry a wealth of experience. They have decades of combined experience in industry and academia. Not only are they experts in global trends and industry best practices, but they're also very, very passionate about shaping the next generation of exceptional leaders. They have a lot of experience in training and teaching leaders like you. So Professor Neeraj and Devdatta will illuminate the nuances of this program and provide a comprehensive view of how the program is designed and how you will benefit out of it, and the remarkable outcomes of this program. So very brief intro about our speakers today. Professor Neeraj joined IIM Lucknow in 2010 and is currently a professor in the strategic management area. He was earlier associated with IIM Indore during 2006-2010 and IIM Kozhikode during 2004 to 2006. He also had a short stint at the School of Management, Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, as a visiting faculty. He completed his fellow program in management from IIM Lucknow in 2004, Masters in Engineering from the IIT Kharagpur in 1994, and Bachelor's in Engineering from G.V. Pant University in 1992. Apart from having about 18 years of experience in management research and teaching, he had also spent about 6 years in the corporate sector, mainly in the food processing and consulting industry in various roles. So it talks volumes about the wealth of experience Professor Neeraj carries, both in academia and industry. Welcome, Professor Neeraj. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to your insights in this session. Professor Devdatta is an associate professor in business environment area with IIM Lucknow. Dr. Paul has served Indian Bank, IIM Indore, and IIM Raipur before joining IIM Lucknow. He conducts empirical research in energy economics, agricultural economics, and choice modeling. His research has been published in Energy Economics, Economic Modeling, Empirical Economics, Journal of Policy Modeling, Transportation Research Part A, Physica A, and John Love's Choice Modeling. Dr. Devdatta comes from a strong research background and works in the business environment area. It talks volumes about the research strength that he carries. Welcome, Professor. Thank you so much for joining the session today. We look forward to your insights. Moving ahead, I would like the professors to shed some light on the IIM Lucknow advantage.
Okay, thank you, Shweta, for the introduction. So since you're interested in undergoing a program through IIM Lucknow, it's pertinent that we briefly tell you about IIM Lucknow also. I think most of you must be a little bit aware of the institute already. So we know that IIM Lucknow was the fourth in the sequence of IIMs, the first one being Calcutta, followed by Ahmedabad and Bangalore, established way back in 1984. So we are right now would be admitting our 40th batch of MBA programs. So we are at that old. Apart from the normal MBA program, we run a lot of other programs like one-year executive program, working executives program, MBA in agribusiness management, and MBA in sustainability management. Possibly we are the first in the country to launch a program in sustainability management almost 10 years back, and now everyone is talking about sustainability there. So as you can see in this slide, we are also double accredited, all accredited from EMBA and also AACSB, which are well-known accreditation agencies which rate management schools. Apart from that, we also figure number 6 in the National Institutional Ranking Framework among the management schools, and also 4th as far as the Best B School survey, which was done by Business Today in 2023. We also figure at respectable positions in QS and FT rankings, even though we are relatively new to that. So that's briefly about us. We are extensively into MD, executive education, primarily physical face-to-face MDPs, as well as a bouquet of blended programs like this one, which you're interested in, the CEO program. About the CEO program, we already have completed one batch. The second batch is undergoing, and we are right now in the process of admitting the students for the third batch. So that's briefly about the institute, and I think Shweta can carry forward from here. Shweta, you're muted, I think.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you, Professor. I'd like to talk about a few program highlights, how this program stands out, and how you would benefit from this program. So this is a completely live online program, which means you will have live online sessions with the faculty week on week, which is scheduled for Sunday, 6:45 to 9:45. I think this is an invaluable experience that you can carry, having almost 10 months of live online teaching with esteemed faculty of IIM Lucknow, industry experts coming and sharing their insights, etc. I think that's one of the strong USPs of this program. You will also have networking and learning with experienced peers. So all of the batch will have aspiring and evolving CEOs who are looking to establish themselves as CEOs of different organizations, of different industries, etc. So it's a great networking and learning opportunity with experienced peers, both online and also when you meet at the campus immersion. I think it's a great opportunity to network. We also have business simulations for hands-on learning in this program. It's not only about teaching theoretical aspects. The pedagogy involves a lot of elements like case studies, you have assignments to apply what you've learned, you have capstone projects, you have simulations. I think this comprehensive learning journey will help you apply the learnings that you have in this program and gain a lot of practical and hands-on understanding. The 4-day campus immersion, I think, like I mentioned again, is a great experience. One, to have the chance to interact with the faculty, to interact with your peers, and also get the feel of IIM Lucknow campus. It's a beautiful campus. So I think it will be a great experience for those 4 days for all of you. And live online lectures with top IIM Lucknow faculty. I can't reinforce this enough because getting to hear and learn from faculty with the wealth of experience across different domains and functions is invaluable again. So I believe this is one of the strongest highlights of this program. Also towards the successful completion.
Yes, Shweta, I think there's some problem with that bar which is there. So if you can hide, I think
hide it,
sorry, sharing the PPT. Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Sure. Thank you. Also, towards the successful completion of the program, participants will be eligible for IIM Lucknow Executive Alumni Status, a very, very valuable value add to your credentials. This tag will always stay with you forever. And it's not so easy to get a prestigious tag like IIM Lucknow. So I think very, very valuable experience and value add again. Practitioners insight from top technology industry leaders. I think this is again, besides IIM Lucknow faculty, we will also have some industry practitioners coming in, sharing their insights, what they have implemented in their organizations, or what they think are the latest trends that we could that you could jump upon, etc. So that will be very valuable to carry to your work, to your organizations and businesses. Also, the capstone project guided by IIML faculty will again give you a lot of practical exposure. You will be able to pick up a problem statement, which is real time, and be able to apply all the learnings that you had throughout the program in that. I think this is going to add a lot of value to your learning journey. The faculty will talk more about capstone simulations and modules as we go ahead. But these are some of the highlights of this program, and we can't talk enough about these. Let's move ahead. Or just take a pause if faculty wants to add something, Professor Neeraj and Professor Devdatta, in case you want to add anything.
Yeah, I think we have details of these coming up later.
Coming up.
I also say that the one major positive aspect of this program is that it's 100% online. There are no recorded sessions there. And these are primarily by IIM Lucknow faculty, plus almost 15 to 20 hours of content from industry practitioners, and the 4 days of campus immersion. I think that's the next slide was showing the pictures when the first batch came to the campus, I think.
Right. Yes. I'd request the professors to talk about the campus immersion experience for the participants and what they can expect.
Yeah, so I think for many of the first batch, for which the pictures which you're seeing here, if you see the program, eligibility is 10 years of experience, but the cohort which we had on the first batch was having an average work experience of about 20 to 22 years. So again, apart from the academic content delivery from the faculty, it's also a rich peer learning which happens because there are people which have a huge number of years of experience in different industries, in different kind of roles, and that cross learning between them was one of the highlights there. And for people who are in that age group, getting back to a classroom mode and then experiencing a business school campus was one of the highlights of the program. Shweta, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for sharing about that. And the pictures talk volumes about how participants are really liking the immersion and having a great time on the campus. So it's a great experience. Let's keep moving ahead. Yes. So who is this program designed for? So predominantly functional and business leaders who are looking to be a leader of change and also enable cross-functional collaboration to accelerate growth and looking to advance to the C-suite roles. And also CXOs, aspiring CXOs and new CXOs and founders of organizations who are looking to have in-depth functional understanding and advance their strategic leadership capabilities. So overall, it is designed for someone who's on their path to becoming a CEO, maybe not immediately, maybe some of them a couple of years down the line, but this is for someone who is looking to become a CEO, and this will lay a foundation for you in all aspects to do the same. It will also foster for someone who's looking to foster innovative culture in their organization and also leadership of change management and drive organizational growth. So the eligibility for this program is any graduate or diploma or postgraduate holder with a minimum of 10 years of work experience as on the program start date. And the candidate should also have a minimum of 50% marks in the graduation or diploma or postgraduate. And the candidate should be currently working while filling out the application, and the screening, selection, or all the other process will be done based on the profile by IIM Lucknow. This is a standard IIM Lucknow process. Moving ahead. Yeah, so some of the key takeaways of this program is how to become a successful and visionary CEO and begin your journey basically to becoming a successful and visionary CEO, and enhance your strategic thinking and leadership capabilities, how to craft a strong and agile capabilities within your organization, We also cover a lot of modern concepts or contemporary concepts like global dynamics, economic outlook, many contemporary topics like latest technologies, how technology is transforming the business landscape today, how AI is transforming the business landscape today, all of those contemporary topics. Also about the softer aspects of building organization culture, and most importantly, creating sustainable innovation and steering your organization towards sustainability. I think sustainability is on the agenda of all CEOs today. So we also cover that aspect of sustainability in our program. Faculty will take us through modules in a detailed manner, and will also shed some light on what they can expect, what you can expect in the modules. So we will get there. Sure, over to you, Professor.
Yeah, so if I take you through the structure of the program, as Shweta already mentioned, is built to develop capabilities which a new age CEO requires. Also, before we designed this program, a lot of surveys were done. We also looked at secondary data available regarding what capabilities the current day CEO requires. And based on that, we have based this program on 3 broad pillars. One is achieving functional excellence. Second is strategy and innovation. And the third is leadership, change management, and digital. So these 3 pillars, these are the 3 pillars on which the program is resting. What you have in front of the screen right now is the first pillar, the functional excellence. And within that, we have modules like strategic finance. So as a CEO, you require an understanding of your financial statements, how the numbers are coming from, how to make sense of those numbers, how to look at the financial health of the organization. And as a CEO, you also require reasonable amount of understanding of marketing, positioning, manage media relations, and also understand what strategies are working for you. And also operational excellence, which talks about, in the current day, we are talking about digital supply chains, making sure that your operations are linked to the profitability and strategy of the company, and also building new process capabilities which are not there in the organization. And apart from that, the 4th module in this pillar talks about people management issues, where we talk about how to manage talent in the organization, how to recruit people, develop them and train them, build better teams, motivate employees, and also analyze, use analytics to understand your workforce and try to understand what capabilities are required. So again, all these are the first pillar, functional excellence, is to refresh basic management concepts, and this pillar builds on to the next concepts, which are more advanced topics, which a CEO would require. So we can go to the pillar 2, next slide, where we can talk about what are the contents there in the pillar 2, which broadly is titled as strategy and innovation. So again, as a CEO, how should I make sense of the changes happening in my business environment? And that's why module 5 focuses on economic outlook, how to analyze macroeconomic environment, how the global economy is getting interconnected, and what role the CEO has in that. Important issues of sustainability and also innovation. A big module is on strategic management, because as a CEO, your job is cross-functional, integrate various functional areas and take strategic decisions. So here we talk about how to develop strategic thinking abilities, how to analyze your environment, how to understand your value chain, develop a value chain which is suitable for your strategy, and strategies at various level, business level, corporate level, how to bring in competencies in the organization through acquisitions, through alliances, and also nuances of strategy implementation. And the third pillar, if you can go to the next slide, is about leadership and digital. We are talking about building the right organization structure and design. Also talking about providing effective leadership, which talks about understanding various leadership styles, how to manage conflicts and negotiate among the stakeholders with which your business is coordinating. Specific new age issues like management of technology and innovation, governance issues, ethics issues. And finally, a big last but not the least important is the current day changes which are happening, which is data driven or technology enabled business opportunities. So these are the most recent developments which are issues which are worrying CEOs across the world. The world is becoming more and more digital. New technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, 3D printing technology, etc., are coming in. So how to make sense of these disruptive technologies, how to leverage data and information for decision making and use them as a competitive advantage. So this is how broadly the three pillars are structured. These all together account for almost 130 hours, as we already mentioned. But out of that, about 90 hours would be live online through a digital platform, whereas 24 hours is in campus. And apart from that, about 15 hours of sessions spread across the program from real industry leaders, where the CEOs or people experts in those domains would be sharing their experiences with you. So that's broadly about the program.
Thank you, Professor. Also about the capstone project, a couple of insights about how the project is going. Professor, you're on mute.
Yeah, so two more things which I would like to briefly talk about is the program also has a built-in capstone project. The idea behind that is to make sure that the participants, while they learn new concepts and develop new skills and capabilities, are they able to apply those capabilities into real life problem solving or the issues which CEOs face or the future CEOs are likely to face. So here what typically is done is that we do this in groups. The group members choose one of the topics or one of the issues which is affecting a specific organization, typically an organization where one of the group team members actually work, apply the concepts which you've learned and try to apply those concepts to find a real world solution to the problem which you're facing. So that's about the capstone projects, which runs through the entire program, not the first pillar, but the second pillar, because the first pillar helps you expose to the functional area topics, because that will help you to formulate your capstone project in a better way. Apart from the capstone project, we have two simulations. One simulation is a CapSim simulation, which is an integrative simulation which understands the how do you look at the balance sheet and P&L statement of a company from the top management's view, and how various functional area decisions help and how these numbers carry to the balance sheet there. So you would actually be managing a simulated organization, taking decisions at marketing level, at operations level, at HR level, and then trying to see the implications of that into the top line of the company there, and thereby, and then try to adjust those decisions in multiple rounds. Going by the experience of the first batch, this is something which was well appreciated and liked by the participants of the first batch. And this is one of the important aspects of this program. Apart from that, we have one more simulation, which is based on balance scorecard concept, which talks about measuring and evaluating performance of organization across a balance of financial and non-financial parameters. So you measure performance across 4 parameters: financial, customer, internal business process, and learning and growth, and then try to see how do we spot leading indicators in the organization and try to adjust your strategy if things are not going right. So it's more about a strategy implementation simulation, where you would like to look at how to spot early signals and take those early signals into taking corrective action so that your strategy is in the right direction or not. So this is to tell you very briefly about these simulations, which are part of this this CEO program itself. Shweta, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Professor, for shedding light on the capstone project and the simulations. So quickly talking about the executive alumni benefits that you get from IIM Lucknow. So upon successful completion of the program, on registration with a one-time registration fee of 10,000 plus GST, participants will receive the prestigious IIM Lucknow Executive Alumni status, and it's completely optional for you to register after the program completion. You'll receive the details from IIM Lucknow, and this will also encompass all the other things mentioned here, which is receipt of all IIM Lucknow program brochures, newsletters in the future, along with details of souvenirs that are available with the office. You will have a lifelong access to the network of distinguished executive alumni of IIM Lucknow, and you will also have an on-site access to IIM Lucknow campus library. And there is a 10% discount in fee for any additional programs, online programs, or open programs at IIM Lucknow in the future. and a 10% group discount on the fee for a reference of participants, and if you refer a minimum group of 5 participants. So all of these will be the benefits of the executive alumni status of IIM Lucknow, post-program completion, and optional for you to choose. Moving ahead. This is how the program certificate would look like. So there's also a criteria for this. So that you should have a minimum attendance of 75%, which is mandatory for satisfactory academic performance. Participants will be awarded a certificate of completion and will be eligible to receive the IIM Lucknow's executive alumni status, which is optional again. Also, the cumulative overall percentage of marks should be more than 50%. And those participants who do not meet these criteria will receive a certificate of participation. If you don't have attendance of at least 40%, you will not receive any certificate. So the bare minimum to receive even a participation certificate is 40% attendance. But if you want a completion certificate, you need 50% marks and 75% attendance. That's the criteria. That's the standard criteria that we have with IIM Lucknow. So we encourage all of you to attend the live sessions and make the best out of these learning experiences that you can carry for your lifetime. Moving ahead.
Just to add there are 2 kinds of certificate. One is certificate of successful completion. For that, there is some attendance criteria and some marks criteria.
Correct.
There's also a certificate of participation, which is given when the attendance is less. I think that's what is mentioned there.
Correct.
And if it is less than 40, you may not get any certificate.
Any certificate.
I think you have to be aware of it.
Correct. So the bare minimum is at least you have 40% of attendance for any certificate. Yeah. So that's correct. Thank you, Professor. With that, we come to the end of the presentation, and now we open the floor for questions. I request participants to put up any questions that you have in the Q&A box. I see that some people are putting up questions in the chat box. I request you to put it in the Q&A box so that we are able to answer it more effectively. However, I will just quickly, meanwhile, take up the questions that are there in the chat. When is the 4 days campus immersion date? I think that will be communicated to you after the program commencement. But you will be given an advance notice on this. Professor, you want to add something?
Yeah, so this is at the end of the program. So typically the program runs for almost 10 months. So generally the program actually culminates in those 4 days in the campus there. So when the online classes are over, typically after 10 months, based on the availability of campus facility, we organize the campus module because it's a totally residential module where your stay arrangements would be inside the campus. And that's where there might be, let's say, a delay of a week or 2 weeks, depending on the facilities being available in the campus. But it's at the end of the 10 months of the program when it finishes. Right? So if the program starts somewhere in July, you can count 10 months from that, and after that, there will be campus module.
Perfect. Thank you, Professor. Also, I think one of the questions from Sunil Thomas is, what about topics like brand management, media and PR, and also stakeholders and investors management? So it's talking about specific topics around brand management, media and PR. And stakeholder investor management.
Talk about module on marketing strategies. We have topics like strategic marketing, strategic positioning, managing media relations is already there. Also understand this is not a functional program, so it will not be too heavy on a specific function. It will give you an overview of various functional areas, and the CEOs are possibly required to have a reasonable level of understanding of various functional areas, but it's more important is integrative abilities to integrate the knowledge across the functional areas. So we will not be too deep diving into specific functional areas like marketing, HR, operations, but it will be reasonable level of understanding of that. But more important will be how to develop competencies or capabilities to integrate across these functional areas. So that's where the focus would be.
Thank you, Professor. That's helpful. Also, what percentage of lectures is from?
That's very clear. We have the program is altogether 130 hours, out of which roughly 15 hours is from specifically from industry leaders. There might be additional sessions where we might invite a guest faculty from the industry as well. But 15 hours is minimum guaranteed, which is there out of 130 hours.
Thank you, Professor. There's one more question from Shashi Rani Delarock. Is it an online program? It's a live online program. You have live teaching throughout the program. It's not a recorded program. What are module specific for entrepreneurs or startups for new business management, this question is from Pawan Pawar. So any modules specific to entrepreneurs or startups on business management?
First of all, my understanding is that what capabilities a CEO of an entrepreneurial venture or a startup venture requires are not much different from a CEO of an established firm requires. The program is primarily focused, the capabilities which a CEO required, which can be transferable across different types of organization, different industries, and different stages of the life cycle, be it introduction phase, entrepreneurial startup, growth phase, or mature phase. I think there is something for everything, right, at every stage of the industry.
I just want to add here that what Professor Dwivedi suggested. I understand that there are some enablers. Means enablers, a CEO of a founding CEO of a new startup might have, which he may be over a period of time might have acquired. In the first program, we have several participants who work with multiple organizations for a reasonably longer period of time, even in the foreign assignments. Then they came up and started something of their own, and even in something in a very new domain. Somebody who has all along worked in the IT domain, but seeing the opportunity is exploring something in your aviation, not aviation, means in aviation support system he is precisely exploring. So I basically just building on what Professor Dwivedi suggested, that means you will get the skill set. Means the program will take you to try to impart the required skill set, which will enable you to coordinate among the multiple functions. So you might be all along a marketing in the domain, or you might be all along coming from the engineering or the plant, from the plant side you might be coming. But this program will help you to understand how you can really synergize between the multiple across the functions of a particular organization. That is what Sir suggested, Professor Dwivedi suggested, that we might not be diving deeper that in any of the functional areas, but we will have a very much holistic view. And the primary, the best part what we experienced from the first batch is that we had the people from ISRO, we had two medical professionals also. So there were around 7 doctors, so of which means 3 were the medical practitioners, while 4 are coming from your engineering as well as the science background, even in the management position in the ISRO. So that will give you I hope same kind of your cohort you'll be finding in this upcoming batch also. So what we suggest that more than we learn from us from the online delivery, the learning from the cohort also will be much more which you can experience in this kind of the programs. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Professor. We have a few more questions in the Q&A box. We'll go one by one. Nayan's asking, will we receive the recording of the class?
I think, Shweta, you are aware of the recording policy.
Yes.
So IIM Lucknow has a policy where whether the session would be recorded or not is totally left to the discretion of the faculty. Copyright of the session content is with faculty. So some faculty members would allow the recordings to be available. Some of them may not allow the recordings to be available. Even if those who don't allow recordings to be available, at least make sure that the copy of presentations are available. So that the policy is very clear regarding that.
Thank you, Professor, for adding around that.
No, I think even the recording would be available only for a limited period of time, and that is in a non-downloadable format.
Yeah.
So that also you should mention that in a non-downloadable format, will be available.
Absolutely. All right. So
we can look at some similar questions and we can
sure.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Sure. So next question about exams. This Sudhanshu has some questions about the exams. So how many exams will we schedule in the tenure of the program? What type of exams, etc.?
So what we have done in the past is one exam after every pillar. So typically there'll be 3 exams, one for pillar 1, one for pillar 2, and one for pillar 3. So all the modules contained in a pillar, the contents of that would come in. So at the end of the pillar, there'll be one exam. Mostly the exams are MCQs in nature, which are again done through an online platform itself.
Regarding exam, and most of the, not most, means all the professors were kind or generous enough to share the sample questions also before that. That also we somehow have convinced all the, so that because many of you might be appearing for the exam maybe for the 20 long years. So to basically to bring you out of the exam phobia, we usually ensure that some of the sample questions also are reaching you beforehand. So you can make yourself comfortable with whatever you are learning.
Great. Thank you, Professor. We have another question. Is it mandatory to attend a 4-day campus? Can I join the program remotely? From Deepak. Just to add before the professors add, I think the 4 days of campus is a very, very unique and valuable experience that people look forward to. So I don't think anyone would want to like miss it unless
It's
they have.
It's also a mandatory part. Unless there is serious medical emergency, it's
Right.
part of the program. So, yeah.
Correct. Yes.
I think last batch only one person has missed, who is from Colombo. If I recall correctly, there only one person might have missed, or else everybody has attended the.
No, even the Colombo person came one day after that. Yeah.
Yeah, Colombo person came one day after that. So, or else means a fully participated.
The policy. So policy is that's in a compulsory program. What happened in the first batch is not a, let's say, something which should be followed here.
Right. Okay. Vishal asks, how is this program different from strategy and leadership course of other executive management courses?
See, I'm not sure which program he's comparing with, but as far as I understand, a program which specifically talks about decision making at the C level, strategies can be formed at various levels. A marketing manager might also have a strategy for himself. An operations manager might also create an operations strategy for himself. This is the program which focuses on the role of a CEO in the organization and what kind of competencies and capabilities are required at that level. And that's what differentiates it from a typical strategy program or an advanced strategy program there.
Thank you, Professor. We have one more question. Do we have any books or material suggested for the program? Gopal Krishnan is
when someone joins, that information will be given to them.
Right. Rohit asks, in case of any emergency, and you're unable to attend the online classes, will there be a recording? So Professor already mentioned that recordings are at the discretion of the faculty and available for a limited time period. We already answered this. So moving on to the next one. At the end of the program, whether we get all our workout modules and presentations, yes, but not anything that you have in the classroom live will not be shared with you because that's IIM Lucknow's IP. But anything that you worked upon during the program, I think will be with you. Any presentations, etc., that you worked upon.
The faculty would share some pre-class readings and some post-session presentations. At the same time, but again, I said, it's not a program where you see recordings and then also look at this content. It's more about interacting with faculty. And that's why I would say all those who are asking for recordings and materials, you will derive the maximum out of this program if you attend the sessions and interact with the faculty and the peer group during the session. And that's why we say the major strength of this program is being live online, interactive, and not where other programs where we have recorded, a large chunk of it is recorded, large chunk of it is through shared resources which are there. So you will derive the best out of it if you actually are attending the sessions while they are happening and also interacting real time with the faculty and the peers.
Great. Thank you, professors. Sonu has a question. Exams would be more of subjective or based on the concepts discussed?
See, again, exams we already spoke about. Since they will be conducted in an online mode, they would be mostly objective type questions, MCQs, based on the content which the faculty would have covered in the session.
Right. We have a question from Harris about how many participants are usually present in a cohort. It varies from cohort to cohort. Professor, would you want to take this?
The first batch had about 70, the second batch also around 6. So we are typically looking at not more than 70. But yeah, the first 2 batches, one is already completed, which had about 70. The second one is also about 68, 69 or so. So around that's the number you can expect to be in the cohort.
Right. Babani has a question. Is it the functional heads preferable, or a process owner or a head that can pursue this course? Also, will it be beneficial for him or her, that is a functional head, or any senior executive management program? Not really clear about the question, but if my understanding is correct, they're asking if it will be beneficial for a functional head or a process head.
See, anyone, I would say, who's aspiring for a general management role and rising to a role where cross-functional knowledge is required and leadership abilities are required, I think I would not specifically say who, and also we go through the profiles and also look at the profiles while selecting the candidates. But anyone who's aspiring for CXO or one level below CXO roles, which requires ability to integrate across functional areas, that's what would make the better candidate here.
Right. So there's also a question from Emmanuel and Divya, I think more around some of the success stories of the participants of this program, and any of the participants who have been through this program before are now in CEO roles. I think it's just too early to comment on that. I think we've had the first batch a couple of quarters back, so but Professor can add on that.
Though I think we had some testimonials from the first batch, I don't know, but may not be immediately available, but that can be shared in some way if you want.
Got it. What are some of the key skills and knowledge that participants will gain from the program? Divya is asking this question.
I think
and how do you support and mentor participants?
Shweta in your presentation itself, right?
Yes, absolutely. We talked a lot about how they can gain skills around cross-functional leadership.
Yeah, we said strengthening cross-functional integration, collaboration, build an organizational culture, personal resilience, all those leadership excellence. I think you have spoken about that already.
Absolutely, right. So there's one more question from an anonymous attendee. What is the main difference between IIM Lucknow and other IIMs for similar CEO programs being offered in the market? Is there a placement assistance?
Placement assistance, no, there is no placement assistance. This is for working executives who are willing to develop their capabilities and competencies, and through their competencies and capabilities, if you are able to rise in the same organization or are able to get better roles outside, that's I think that's what we are focusing on. This is not a program targeted towards placement, but targeted towards competency building and capability building. About the what was the other thing about difference between IIM Lucknow
and other IIMs offering similar?
So first of all, when we launched this program, there was no such offering available there. We were possibly the first one, and also even now among the bigger, better IIMs, I don't see any similar level programs as far as my understanding goes, which is there.
Right. Also, there's one question from Divya. How do you support and mentor participants throughout the program?
So I think the capstone project works in a way, serves that role, because when you will be working on the capstone project, you might be interacting with some faculty members regarding inputs on that. Plus, I think our sessions themselves are quite interactive. They are online, but I think I can safely say that the interaction level is as much as you'll find in a physical classroom. And that's where the mentoring actually happens.
Right. There's another question. As a part of the eligibility of the academics course considered, yes, you will have to have at least 50% in your graduation or post-graduation or diploma. That is a mandatory requirement. IIM Lucknow. I think there's a comment.
Also, the eligibility, merely having the eligibility requirement met would not guarantee a place in the program. The program director should also go through the profiles and find the suitability of your profile for a program like this, and then obviously your admission will be cleared.
Right. Thank you, professors. I would request the participants to add any further questions that you might have quickly. We have a couple more minutes. We can take a few more questions. So if you have any further questions, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box, and we're happy to take that. Any final set of questions that you might have? I see some coming up in the chat as well. What kind of prerequisite is required from our end from course eligibility? Yeah, like we already mentioned, you should have about 10 plus years of experience as on program start date, plus also 50% in your graduation, post-graduation, or diploma. These are the main prerequisites.
I think Shweta, his point is slightly different. I think they want to know that how they can derive better out of this program. So I think, as I said, since this program is 100% live online, you'll be able to derive more when you are attending most of the sessions. And that's why the sessions have been kept on a Sunday very late in the evening, so that most of you are available. Also, you'll be able to do better by being prepared for the sessions by going through the prerequisites which are shared with you already, like case readings and pre-readings which are shared with you. And also being interactive in the class, I would say. Also, as we said, the program is still intensive in terms of academic requirements. So many of you might have left academics long back. So I think prepare yourself for, or let's say brace yourself for that, so that you're able to, let's say, read through long text of material so that you can derive maximum out of this program.
So I think Prashant Singh has a question about any alumni meet or connect platform. So while you will be interacting in the online classes, I think there are also usually WhatsApp groups which are created for informal and out of class interactions.
Once you're a part of the alumni, once you opt for that after the completion of the program, then the Alumni Affairs Office of the Institute actually conducts frequent alumni engagements, and I think you can be part of those then.
Yes, and those invites will be sent out to all the executive alumni. Yes. Okay. Okay, I think most of the questions have been answered in one form or the other. Any other quick questions that we might have? So, okay, one question from Gopal Krishnan. CEO role is also to manage the investors, and is there any insight or assistance in this program around investor management?
See, we have modules on financial strategy, which talks about various forms of capital raise and how it can be done. But beyond that, as we said, it's not a hand-holding program, it's an academic capability development program. So also it's not an incubator where you will be helped to gain investments from somebody, but it's also helping you to understand the type of investment opportunities actually you have, not more than that.
Okay, thank you, Professor. And there's one more question. What is a CEO one level less? So CEO -1.
So we are talking about CXOs. So we are talking about CFO, CMO, COO, right? Which also, although there are programs which are specifically suited for those audience, there might be a program on Chief Operating Officer, Chief Finance Officer, but this program also helps you develop to those roles and ultimately lead the CEO roles as well.
Thank you, Professor. Any other quick questions? We have a couple more minutes to take those up.
I think most of the things we already addressed. I think we can close it.
Right. All right. I think then we are good. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure exploring this program with you. Emeritus has a significant collaboration with IIM Lucknow, and we, along with IIM Lucknow, have co-created multiple online programs. And Emeritus has a legacy of having 450 plus programs and learners across 160 countries. And we value the relationship with IIM Lucknow immensely. And about the program, The next steps here would be you can talk to one of our program advisors and have any of your specific questions answered. You can also call them directly at this number. And also for any queries, you can email at the mentioned email ID or WhatsApp an advisor. So through either of these means, you can reach out to our program advisors who will help you with any queries, any suggestions that you need, or any step, any help or assistance with the next steps. And we will respond to your inquiry in less than 24 hours. So thank you again for joining us today. It's been a pleasure exploring this program with you, and we hope the session has provided valuable insights about this program. And do not miss this chance to elevate your CEO journey. So the applications are open. So go ahead and apply. And thank you for your participation. We eagerly wait to welcoming you on this transformative journey. And thank you so much, professors, for taking out time and sharing your valuable insights today. We look forward to the participants joining our program and taking it from there. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.